It's Suze from Sawyer. All right, so we're sitting around a lot, which again we know causes some issues with the hips. And we're going to talk a little bit today about a muscle that starts at the inner thigh, feeds through the hip flexor. It is the hip flexor, it becomes part of it. It starts to dwell, or as I say, reside inside of the obliques and then wrap around and attach at the lowest rib. It's called the psoas. The taller you are, the longer it is. Now, there's a smaller set there too, and not everyone has that smaller set, especially people that might be a little bit smaller. So the point is, it's the only muscle that connects your upper and lower body together. And when we're seated, a lot of times the body tends to hang. And then we're kind of hanging from that 12th rib right back here. And if you're nodding to yourself going, oh yeah, that kind of hurts right there, it's postural, and it's from seating yourself in a slouchy position. So pull those hips away. The ribs should never touch the hips at all. You're opening and seated. Lower back is a little bit scooped. Some people call it a mouse house. All right, so let's think about movement into the breath now. Practicing our breathing, which we know, and we are understanding more and more how vital this is for us. And in more of the articles I'm reading, I mean, I considered that people, I knew people didn't breathe deeply or well or even knew how. But to see that most people only use about 10 to 20% of their breathing capacity, that's very troubling. So let's get this a little bit better understood. So adding the breath in through the nose, we're going to add the 100 from the Pilates method. So start to breathe in through the nose. And as you part your lips gently, don't make a face, don't blow, don't whistle. Just keep your lips parted and exhale fully. And I mean close. Nice. Here we go. Start. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now when we exhale, we don't collapse. It should all keep you lifted. Right. Now, again, seated on this couch, talking about my Netflix hips, Prime Video, we can't get. I guess there's a lot of issues with interference and all this data being used. So again, think of your spine as that maypole, and take your rib cage now and turn it. And again, I'm not crushing my hips to my ribs. If this ball feels a little mushy, which this one's starting to a little bit, blow it up. Put more air in it. Hey, Doreen, I think Rich might have an air pump. He can blow up that ball in your basement. We have all got a ball in our basement. Go in the other direction. Again, I'm not moving my spine. Your spine ends between your ears. Your head's like the little stem on an apple. If you feel clicking in your knees, use a little bit more of your heel into the floor. Pull your heel to your tush. Pull your heel to your tush. Good. Now, just a little bit of bounce. You know, like adult swim, this can be adult bounce. So adult bounce, a little bounce. Just add a little breath. If you wanted to go into the 100 again, this is a really great time to get your pumping going. And so go through another set of that. If you'd like, try that later. And so that's just a little warm up for me. Because now I want to go into a little shoulder rotator cuff issue. Because if you're seated and kind of hanging your whole body from this rib right here, that also means your ribs are pulled away from your shoulder and the rotator cuff is going to come off. Now men, you have your strength here up in this girdle. We have it in the pelvic girdle. There's where girls carry their strength or their weight, let's say. So men tend to pull this off because you're strong there and it's kind of easy. But over time, that means those rotator cuffs are no longer working. So we're going to release those a little bit today. And just use that barrel. If you don't have one, again, I don't make money from any of these products. But I'm going to send, I'll put the link into the posting so you can see what I'm up to. Now, Pilates is usually meant to be, you should be barefoot, or for the most part, you're in your socks. If you're not doing really slippery work with your feet, which right now you're not really doing that. So if you want to go barefoot, great. It just gives you a little more grip, and in Pilates, that's kind of everything. So let's set up that psoas. This is the only way to get this to release. There is nowhere to go. Corporate massage no longer releases the psoas. It's too dangerous. It can herniate. You can strain. The colon can be affected, let's say it that way. So let's think about that deep muscle. If no one's going to release it, plus who's going to get a massage right now? And you're going to be in pain. I guarantee you, you're going to be cleaning your garage, taking things that are heavy, lifting and twisting, and taking that psoas to a twist, and all of a sudden, kink. So think of where this guy resides. You're going to get right up and over here. This foot's here, kind of in the third. Get this in the little mouse house of your lower waist, and now just kind of roll it out. You know what? If this doesn't hurt, yay you. If it does, find those spots. Now, I'm not going to stay here forever, but I just want to give you the form because I want to get through a few things here. Now, I can feel this connect, and I'm all organized. This hand on top here, I have a lot of neck issues. They cut me up. They took this hip, they put it here. So this neck is weak. How I learn to move and rotate that neck is Pilates. Now, don't let this hang and distress yourself. Always hug that peach. So that's one way to get into that psoas. Now, to help yourself up, just give yourself a little lift. Now, most of you should maybe hopefully be able to get on the floor for this. If you have a king size bed or maybe even a queen, you might be able to, but please do not do it by yourself. Have someone spot you. Oh my goodness, I'm looking at my granimals. They're a nightmare. Now, again, I am attached here. It feeds. This psoas becomes the iliopsoas of the hip flexor. It is the hip flexor. Resides in your obliques and wraps around to that 12th rib. When you find that 12th rib, you go, but Suze, I don't know where it is. I'm like, you'll find it, believe me. Now, even kind of start thinking about the ribs. As you get on those ribs, feel them open. You want them to open. There's so many joints in there. Get that stuff to open, and you might feel cracking or popping a little bit. If it hurts, don't go there. But that might just be a little scar tissue, and you don't want that tissue scarring. That should be mobile. Gorgeous. And you're going to know when the place is you might want to stay there. I might want to use my top arm, just kind of reach back a little bit. I'm always holding that peach. As we work together, you'll learn how to move properly. I don't care what sport or activity you love to do. Learn how to move with me first, and then we'll get you there. I don't care if it's yoga, running, motorcycle driving, riding, racing, ski racing, race walking, power walking. Anyway, that's a good way to get that psoas to release. Now, going into the rotator cuff, men, everybody look in the mirror, widen. It's not shoulders down, it's shoulders wide. Close the blades on your back. And it kind of feeds from, I'm here at my psoas, boy, that's exciting. And and I'll tell you, you're gonna feel it. And sometimes it'll feel like a knife. It will just get you. And if you feel that, kind of congratulations, because it's that thing where it's like, you've released it. It's that little myofascial grip, but it can only hang on for so long. Now, get underneath that shoulder blade. And this is a little tricky. You can see I have to maneuver and manipulate myself. Ugh. And what's interesting about the shoulder blade is I'm always like, get it on your back. But to reset the rotator cuff, it has to kind of come off just a teeny tiny bit. I do have my hips on the floor. And now, underneath, get at the head of those lats. Oh, and then just roll around that cuff. Again, my head is heavy. I still keep hold. My spine ends between my ears. Don't let that head go. This thing's heavy. It's a pride head. Oh my God, they're huge. All right, now just start to inhale. Facilitate breath with your movement. And exhale and open those ribs. Get everything to help you move. Inhale, and then this rib cage. And as you exhale, fold, because then you can get over all that air is gone. And then reach up. Oh, you might find a spot you want to hang, but just make sure nothing hurts. Nothing should be stabbing, pulling. Don't sacrifice anything. If you need to spot yourself, you could be right here. You don't need to be as like, I'm kind of brutal. I'm a little bit of a martyr myself, I think. But just go through that, and hey, get real. This is all core work. All right, so you're going to do that on both sides. All right, one more thing I just wanted to talk about was your posture today. Ooh. Seated in a chair, I don't care where you are. I have a little bit of a ponytail, but this is our shape. This is our form. All right? If this isn't you, you're slouching. Not to be too graphic, but I do call it the nipple shapes. So if your nipples are shaped, forming, and shining forward, those are laser beams. Shine those beams forward. And people go, but I feel like I'm sticking out my boobs. I'm like, great. Would you rather them stick out and shine forward, or just kind of hang to the ground? Oh, no, it's hideous. Exactly. We don't, and plus, we can't breathe. So stand up, form that shape, little mouse house under the neck, little mouse house under the lower back. That's called neutral spine. And take a break for the rest of the day. Practice this. Get more breathing practice. Go ahead and subscribe. Sue's from Sawyer. Have a great day.